In this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to build a sales funnel in WordPress. So I'm going to show you how to design it and add all the steps that you need. Now, let me show you what we're going to be designing. So if we take a look here, this is going to be our main sales landing page. So I'm also going to use this as a template. So I show you how to create this. I also show you how to add this video here, the overlay, all the colors. But the most important thing and what makes this really exciting is the fact that all our steps are all linked. So let me show you what I mean. So if I come over here now, so let's say someone lands on this page and they're just about to buy your product here. So they click here on buy now. And straight away, it takes them to the checkout page. Now, as you can see, this is a simple design. Over here, they add their first name. They can add their phone number in case you need to follow up with them. But of course, you can add a Skype number since this is a consultation funnel or for a funnel for coaches. So now you can change this, as I mentioned. We also have the email address you can add here. Now, over here on the right, this now shows you the product. So our very first product here is maybe a 30-minute consultation for $97. And then we also have, now this is the fun part. Here is where we have this upsell or an order bump. So if they click here, notice what happens. We now have 6 sessions added onto our list of products, and this price has been automatically calculated now to $344. And then finally over here, if they click proceed to checkout and the payment goes through, and by the way, before I even talk about the payment here, you can also use Stripe. Now Stripe allows you to accept credit cards or debit cards, which is fantastic. Now, all this can be added in WooCommerce. All right, so back over here, if you proceed to PayPal or Stripe, once the payment goes through, you get to see this thank you page. Now, again, I've just designed this to make it look very basic. Here is your message to say, the order has gone through. And you can also add a message here, which could be a thank you video, which gives them further instructions or just thanking them for purchasing your product. So as I mentioned, this sales funnel template is for consultants or coaches. So you can also add whatever services that you want on this. Now, before I begin, I'd also like to remind you that if you buy cart flows using my affiliate link, I will give you access to my Sales Funnels Mastery course, which teaches you how to build your sales funnels in WordPress using cart flows. Now, again, the other thing that we're going to be using here is Divi as our page builder, because we can go in and really customize how our sales pages look. So again, if you buy Divi using my affiliate link, you also get access to my web design formula course, a course that teaches you how to design awesome looking websites with Divi. Now, the knowledge you're going to get from that can also be used on how to create these funnels. So pretty much these courses are to help you use these products up and running really fast. All right, so without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let's start designing. All right, so the first thing we need to do here is to add our products that we're going to use in this funnel. So since this is a funnel for consultants, I'm going to come over here to products. Now, I'm assuming you've gone ahead and installed WooCommerce and also cart flows. And by the way, as I mentioned, I also go into great detail in my funnel mastery course, which you get absolutely free if you buy cart flows using my affiliate link. And that is in the video description below. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come over here to products and click on add new. So the funnel here is going to be pretty much very basic. We're going to start off our funnel with a free 30-minute consultation call. So let's add our product here. So we're going to say 30 minutes. Now, of course, you can go ahead and give this a proper name, which describes what it is the consultancy is for. So right now I've just added 30 minutes and let's say this is for $97 and this is a virtual product. And pretty much that's all I need to do here. So I'm going to hit publish. So this has published my first product. Now, let's add another one. Now, this is going to be the second product or second service that we need. And this could be perhaps maybe 6 sessions, right? So let's head over here to our products, click on add new. And here we're going to say 6 sessions. Okay, so we're going to use this as our main upsell. So I'm going to hit publish. Oh, in fact, you know what? I haven't added the price. So let me go in and add the price. So the price for this one here is going to be $247. Okay, again, this is going to be virtual and I'm going to hit update. All right. So now that I have these two products, and if I come over here to all products, we'll see our two main products. The first one is 30 minutes. The second one is 6 sessions. Right. So the next step now is to go and create our sales funnel. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to cart flows and then click on flows. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this in a new tab so I can switch back over here if I need to see my product. Okay, so here we have flows. So as you can see, we don't have any flows here. And by the way, I'm going to interchange flows and funnels, same thing. So let's just stick to funnels here. Okay, so I'm going to click on add new. Now here we can design everything from scratch, or we can use these templates. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to design everything from scratch and then click on design your flow. Go ahead and do that. So now this is going to give me my initial steps in my funnel. And as you can see here, we have the sales landing, we have the checkout, and we have the thank you. Right. So I'm going to say business consultation. Okay. So that's our main funnel. Then over here, we have the landing page, the checkout, and so on. So I'm just going to come over here and hit update. Okay. Now it's time to design this sales page. So all I have to do now is to head over here to edit. Okay. So we're going to edit this and design this page. So for this example, I have the Divi builder. So I'm going to be designing this in Divi. So I'm going to come over here and in fact, before I even go any further, I want to copy this step because this is the step I'm going to be using for my button, my call to action button. Okay, so make sure you copy that. And then over here, we're going to say use the Divi builder. So we're going to be designing everything from scratch here. So now next I'm going to say edit with the Divi builder. So what I can do now is I can either use pre-made layouts or I can design everything from scratch. So for this example, let's build everything from scratch. So we're going to start here with a single column. Now on this column here, I'm going to have a text module. So I'm just adding all the elements that I need initially for my design here. Okay. So here I'm just going to say, oh, in fact, you know what? Before we add our content, let's go in and add all the elements we need. So next I'm going to have 2 equal columns here. And over here in this column, I'm going to have some text as well. Okay. I'm going to leave that as it is. And then I'm going to add another module. And this time this is going to be a blurb. Okay. So there we go. Right. So that's going to be my blurb module. Save that. And then over here, I'm going to have a video. Now, of course, you can add a video or even an image, depending on what works better for you. So I'm going to add a video here. And instead of having my video as it is like that, I'm going to go in and add an image overlay. So I'm going to come over here, click on add image, and I'm just going to use an image here that I can use for this design. So let's see what works better here. Now, in your case, you may need to go in and look for images that work for your design. So I'm going to use this one here for my image overlay. Next, now that I have my image in there, I'm just going to go to design, play icon, and I'm going to adjust my size because as you can see, the size here is a bit too big. So let's bring it down to about 44. And if we need to, we can also change the color of this play button. Now, what I'm doing here is very important because when you design your funnels, what makes your funnels look professional is the use of color and the use of fonts. So I've already added all my colors and I go into detail about this in the actual course. But for now, I just want to show you how to quickly create the funnel. Right. I mentioned that we needed a call to action button, right? So we are going to add our button below this video here, or we can even go under here. So let's just add our button here first. So here it is, add my button. And then I'm going to say, okay, so let's say buy now. That's going to be our call to action. Now, remember, we copied our link in the previous step. So here is my link here. I'm going to save that. Now we can also further go in here and customize our button. So I'm going to do that later. So next I'm going to come over here and click on this add new section. It's going to be a regular section. I'm going to start off with a text module. Go ahead and add that. And then I'm just going to save this for now. Next, I'm going to add another row. And this time it's going to be 3 rows. And these are the rows that are going to be talking about my features. So I'm going to go in and add some blurbs. And let's add that one there. Okay. So pretty much I have most of my elements that I need. In fact, I may need also a testimonials here. So I'm going to click on this plus button and regular. And for this one here, I'm just going to add a single column and testimonial. There we go. So that's going to be my testimonial right there. And quickly, I'm just going to go into my elements here and remove the quote. All right, so I'm going to save that. So pretty much I have most of the elements that I need for my page. The next step now is to save this. Now, as you can see, the design that I have here is a boxed layout. Now, I don't really like box layouts. I just like my design pretty much going across the page. So to change that, we are going to exit out of this, and then we're going to edit the step, because this is where we have all the settings that we need for this page. Right, so over here now, let me just close that. Right, so over here on the right side, we have this post attributes. So this is where you want to click down. And as you can see, by default, it says cut flows boxed. Click on this drop down, and then you want to say template for page builders. Okay. Now it's time to save this. So I'm just going to come over here, click update. Now let's take a look at this design. So I'm going to return to Divi Builder here, edit with Divi Builder, and let's see if that has changed. And sure enough, it has. Now we're going to go in and start adding all our content. So I'm going to start here using my lorem ipsum text. Okay, so that's going to work as my main title, which is going to come over here. But before I do that, I just want to come over here and add a background color to this. So the color I'm going to use is this one right here. In fact, let's make it a bit darker. So I'm going to come over here to my color palette, and let's see what options I have. All right, so I want to go with that as my background color, and we are going to save changes. Next, we're going to come over here now and add our main title. So I'm just going to highlight and add my lorem text. Come over here to design text. Next, we need to center it, and then we need to customize it. So let's add our color here. So this is where you play around with your colors and see which color works well for your page. So I'm just playing around with these. I think I'll go with that for my color. And then for my font, I'm just going to go with bold. And for my font here, I'm going to go with Poppins. Now you can choose, of course, whatever font you want. And then I'm just going to increase this to about, say, 26. Save that. Now I'm going to come over here and add my next text here. And again, I'm going to use some lorem text. Now, in your case, you want to go in and replace this text with your main copy for your text. Okay, so I'm going to come over here, click on text. Again, I'm going to change this to Poppins, and then we're going to change the color. Right, so this, I think is better at 18. There we go. Let's save that. Now it's time to work on our blurb. So I'm going to come over here. Next, I'm going to come to image and icon. So I don't want to use an image here. So let's use an icon. And for the icon here, I just need a check mark. So I'm going to scroll all the way down here and look for one. And let's go with that one. Okay. So now that I have that, I'm going to come over here to design, image and icon. And let's change our color. I think we're going to go with that. Next, we are going to change the placement here and have this check on the left. And now it's time to work on our text here, our description text. All right. So for our description text, again, I'm going to come over here to my lorem text. So let's go with that. So this text right here is going to work as my benefits. Okay, so I'm going to highlight all that, enter that. Let's get rid of this. There we go. So now all I have is this. Let's customize this by coming over here, and I'm going to change the color to my text, and I'm going to go with, okay, let's go with that light gray. I think that works great. Okay, so over here on my font, I'm going to go with Poppins, and the size seems okay. And maybe I should change this color, you know? So let's see. Right. Okay, so I'm going to go with this gray here. So let's save that, and then we're going to duplicate this a few times. So I'm going to go with these three, and these will be the three benefits. This is my main title here to the benefits, which is great. All right, so now we have our call to action button. Now, as I mentioned before, you can have it over here below the video, or you can have it over here below the benefits. All right, so as you can see, the gap between these here is a bit too much. You can just drag it a little bit here just to make this look much better. There we go. So that looks much better now. Right, so the next step now is to go into the button here and let's customize our button. So I'm going to go in and go into design, button, and activate use custom styles for button. All right, so over here now we can change our button color. So let's go with, perhaps let's go with that. And then for the background, we're going to go with, let's try this. Okay, let's go with that. All right, so now let's head over here to our border and we are going to go with the same color here as our background for the border. So I'm going to leave the border radius as it is. And then for our button font, I'm going to go with Poppins. We're going to make it bold as well. So I'm going to click here and make it bold. Okay, so that's looking great so far. And the animation here is also okay. Right, so pretty much I have everything that I need. I'm going to save that. Next, I'm going to come over here to my row settings. So here on the row settings, the most important thing is to get rid of this white space here on the top. So I'm going to go to spacing and set my margin here to -80. So now you can see that's gone. I'm going to save that. And this is looking great. Next, I'm going to give this some breathing space here. So I'm going to go into my section settings, design, and let's go to spacing. Right, so for our padding, we're going to set this to 7VW. So I'm going to apply this both to the top and the bottom. And now you can see we have enough space here, both to the top and the bottom. And our video play icon here also is looking great. Right, so I'm going to save that. Next, I am going to come over here and work on this section. So this section here, as we mentioned, is your main benefits to your consultation service. So let's see what happens if you play around with some colors here. So I'm going to go to my background and try and add that as my background color. So I'm just going to play with this for now and see how this looks as I'm designing my page. So again, I'm going to save changes. And over here, let's give this a title by going in here. So the title here is just going to be my text here from Lauren. And then I'm just going to paste this in here like that. Now we need to design it. So I'm going to come over here to text. Let's center this because everything else is centered on our design. We also need to give this a color. So I'm going to go with that. Okay. And these are colors from my color palette. So that would work great. Now, the next step is to change our font. Then let's make it all caps, increase the size. Let's go with 24 and we're going to make this bold. There we go. All right, so that's looking great. I'm going to save that. Now I'm going to work here on my main benefits. So I'm going to go in here. So let's name this benefit 1. There we go. And for my text here, I'm just going to again come to my lorem text, copy a paragraph, and then let's paste it over here. Now, the reason why I'm using this lorem text is we can use this as a template as well, so which is great. Right, so image and icon, let's change this to icon, and I'm going to choose my first icon here. So I'm going to go with this one here for my first icon. Now, ideally, I'd just like to style this and not just have it as just a basic standard design. So let's play around with our colors here and become a bit more creative. All right, so over here, you're going to go to our background. In fact, you know what? Let's go back to content. So here on our background, let's try this. Okay, let's see what works here. I'm just trying around these different colors to see what works better. You know what? I'll go with this. Right, so the next step now that I have my background color is to adjust everything. So I'm going to start here with my icon, and then we're going to change the color to that. Right, so I'm going to use that, and then no, we don't need a circle there. Right, so the next step here is to use icon font size. So this allows me to adjust my size for my icon. So let's go with 48. Next, I'm going to come over here to my text title, but you know what? Let's just go to the text first. Center everything, and let's change this from dark to light so I can see where everything is. And then next, I'm going to go to my title text. So over here, we're going to change the font to Poppins. We're going to make it bold, and we're going to increase the size to about maybe 22. Then we're going to play around with the colors here. Oops, I like that color. That looks great. Next, you're going to come over here to our description text. Same thing, come over here to default, change this to pop-ins, and the size here is okay. Now, as you can see, we have a bit of a problem now because we don't have enough space around our benefit one here. So let's go in and fix that. And then, by the way, I've just added this gray to my color here. So to add a bit of space there, we're going to come over here to spacing. And then I'm going to add, let's start with 4VW. Okay, so we're going to add this to the top, bottom, left, and right. Okay, so top, bottom, I think that's a bit too much. We're going to bring this down to 3VW. And then, you know what we're going to do? We're going to come over here to border, and we're going to give this rounded corners. Let's give this 4. May even go as high as 5. Okay, let's go with 5. All right, so that's looking much better now. So to save us time, all I have to do is to duplicate this a few times and then just drag this into position and drag this one as well. Great. So now that I have my main benefits, I'm going to come over here and change my icon and change this to benefit 2. Change my icon over here to on image and icon. And this one here can be, let's go with that one. Save. This one here is benefit 3. And let's change the icon as well. So I'm going to come over here to my icon and we are going to, all right, so let's use that icon there. Save. So pretty much that's looking great. The next step now is to come over here and let's give this some spacing, and we're going to go with, let's go with 4VW, top, bottom. All right, let's go with 6, maybe even 7, like what we did earlier on. So while we're here, I'm just taking a look at this so far to see how this is looking. And to be honest, I think I like the design so far. Now let's add our testimonials. So here on the testimonials, the background, I'm going to leave it as it is. And then let's go in here and play around with our design here. So let's say this is my text for my testimonial. Just going to go in here. There we go. So right, that's my text. I'm also going to add an image here. So I'm going to come over here to image. Now I already have images in my media library. So I'm just going to go ahead and upload it. And there we go. We have our first image. And the next step now is to add the name. In fact, I'll just leave it as name goes here. Right, so we're going to change this to Poppins. Save that. We're also going to come to the description text. Okay, let's go to design. And again, over here, we're going to change this to Poppins. Okay, great. So far, everything is looking great here. I'm going to save. Oh, in fact, before I save, we may want to come over here to the background. I tell you what, the background actually looks quite nice because we have this light gray and we've used gray here as well. So I'm going to leave that as it is. And the only thing I'm going to do is to go in and add some rounded corners here on the border. So let's set this to 5. There we go. It's very subtle, but it's working. I'm going to save that. Now, all I have to do is to duplicate this a few times. So I'm going to go into my row settings and then just duplicate my columns. Now, I can add as many as I want here. So let's go with 4. Okay, so we're going to save that. Now, as you can see here, everything looks like it's a bit, too compressed. So we can go in here and set our width to, let's say, 80%. Right, so let's go to our maximum width here. There we go. And in fact, you know what? Let's set it to 90%. Let's cover most of this. Okay, there we go. Pretty much that's all we need to do. I'm going to save this. And now you can see it's taken up a bit more space. All right. Now this needs a title to go with it, this section right here. So let's go in and do that. Single column, text module, set it like that. And then I'm going to add testimonials as my title. I'm going to go into design, text, let's center it. All right, so now I'm going to add my text font, and this is going to be Poppins. We're going to make it bold, and I'm going to make it gray. but that's a bit too light. So let's make it slightly darker so we can read it. There we go. That's looking better. Now, all I have to do now is to increase my size. Maybe for this, I'm going to add some letter spacing. All right. So that's looking great. I'm going to save that and then drag this to the top above my testimonials. So now that I have my testimonials, next I'm going to come over here to this section and let's add some spacing, and we're going to keep it at 7VW both to the top and the bottom, just to give this some breathing space. All right, so now that we have this, all we have to do now is to go into each and every one of these and, of course, change the name, but I'm just going to change the images. I'm going to come over here, change my image, save that, come over here to the next one. This time, let's have a man. Let's go with this guy here. There we go. Then the final one, that can be a man as well. So let's go ahead and click on image so that we balance everything. All right. So now that I have all my images, this is looking pretty nice. So pretty much that's looking great. Let's save this design, exit the Visual Builder. Now, the next part now is to really take a look at the checkout page. So let's test this and see if this is working. So if I click buy now, this now is going to take us to our checkout page. But as you can see, nothing is happening here because I haven't added my content for my checkout page. So we are going to click here on edit step. Right, so back to edit flow. And here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit update just to make sure that I've saved everything, because sometimes it can be a bit tricky if you don't hit save. All right, so I'm going to edit here. So this is where now we're going to add our products to our checkout, because we need to make sure the product that we added here initially are the ones that we need to add. So let's start here with 30 minutes. So I'm going to come over here, select product, and our product here is 30 minutes. And here it is. Now, the beauty of this is it's going to go in and apply all the pricing as soon as we update this. So I'm going to hit update. And over here, you can see cart flow boxed is what is selected by default. Let's go to template for page builders. Click update. All right. So now that we have this, I'm going to go to my order bump. And this is where we're going to add the second product, which is the 6 sessions. Okay. So this is going to be a basic upsell. All right, so over here, I'm going to select our product, and what did you say it was? 6 sessions. There we go. Quantity, we're just going to leave it as 1. We can also select an image here to go with it. So let's go with this image. Hit select. Now, this is where you can add your price, the original price, and so on for your order bump. We're also going to enable this arrow. Hit update. All right, so the next step now is to pretty much take a look at our design. So I'm going to come over here to shortcodes, and this here is very important. We're going to copy that and add this into our design for our checkout. All right, so now I'm going to enable the Visual Builder, and in this case, it's Divi. We are going to build this from scratch, and let's start with a single column. And here we're just going to say checkout. So this needs to be a text module. All right, so this is going to be our checkouts. And let's center this text. So I'm going to come over here and center it. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in and give this a background color. So for this, I'm going to go with, okay, so let's go with this color here. Now I'm going to go back into my module and change my font colors. So first of all, let's change this to Poppins and add our colors. Okay, we're going to go with gray, increase the size, and let's make it bold as well. Okay, so now this just lets people know that we are on the checkout page, and now we need to add the details of the checkout. So I'm going to come over here, regular. Right, so this is where I get to add my text module, and we're just going to add the shortcode. So I'm just going to add my shortcode in here. So everything that I set up in my checkout page is going to be showing here on this page. So I'm going to save that. So as you can see here, it's saying checkout ID not found. That's fine. In fact, you know what? Why don't we add some testimonials to this? So I'm going to make this a 2/3, 1/3. Or in fact, let's go with that. Okay, so this is where you can add your seals, like a 30-day money back guarantee and so on. So let's go in and add an image. There we go. So I know I may have an image here in my media library, and there we go. Go with that one. So that looks a bit too big. So I'm going to go into sizing here and reduce size and center it, and then save. All right. So now that we have this all set, I'm going to save this. And as I mentioned, you can add, testimonials. You can add a lot more stuff over here. This is the Divi builder, so you can add pretty much anything that you want. Now, let's take a look at this by exiting the visual builder. So you can see now, here's our 30 minutes consultation. We have our seal here. But the problem is, because this is a virtual product, ideally we want to have just the name and email address. So here we have too much information. So what we need to do is to go in and really customize this. And notice we also have our one-time offer here as well, which is fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to go back in here, enable the visual builder. And to be honest, I don't like this layout. Let's have our seal here. In fact, you know what? Let's just get rid of this. Then come back over here. Just make this a single column. All right, so we're going to save this. All right, so this is looking great. Now I am going to edit the step because we want to get rid of all those options that we have on this page. And to do that, we need to come over here to checkout fields, enable custom editor. And this is where we get to remove all the stuff we don't need. In fact, the phone is also important. So let's leave the phone. So everything else, pretty much we don't need. We don't need the last name, and let's make this 100% as well. Okay, let's also see. Here is enable ship to different address. We don't need that. Enable additional field. We don't need that as well. Enable coupon field, and nope. So this is as basic as we can get it. All right. So now that we have this all set, all we're going to need here is the name, the phone, and the email address. In fact, let's have the email address first and then the phone. All right. So back over here let's hit update first, and let's do a quick preview. But we're going to do this in a new tab. All right, so now if we take a look at our page, oops, I think I still have my country here. So let's go back in, edit flow. I don't know how I missed that. So let's go back in here. All right, so, oh, there we go. So country is there. We don't need that. And I'm just going to drag these up here. Click update. And this will automatically update and gives us a view of everything here now. There we go. So I have my first name, a phone number, email address. Now, why do we need the phone number? The phone number is very important because for this consultation service, of course, you want to have the ability to call back and just make sure everything is working out fine. But of course, you can add a Skype ID if you need to. So this can be done easily by coming over here and adding a custom field. Okay, great. So now that we have this, we also have here our one-time offer, which if we click here on this check mark, you can see the price has gone up. So this is now our initial 30 minutes consultation plus the 6 sessions, and it adds everything up great. Now over here, I've only set PayPal, but you can also add Stripe, which means you'll be able to get credit cards or debit cards throughout this funnel. So once you've done that, the next step now is to hit proceed to PayPal, and then once the payment goes through, you get to see the thank you page. So over here now, let's take a look and go back to edit flow. So the next step now is to work on our thank you page. So here on our thank you page, I'm just going to hit edit, and we can rename this if we need to. So we're going to hit edit and just call this thank you. Right. So you can have if you want to have the summary of the order details, you can have this on the page, or you can just have a thank you message. So let's just have a basic stripped down thank you message for this. So for that, I'm just going to hit update here, and then I'm going to go in and let's see what options we have here. Let's go to our settings. So here is our thank you page text. So here we can have thank you, your order has been received, or you can redirect after purchase. So let's say you want someone to go straight to the dashboard of your website, this is where you can add your redirect, which is fantastic. We can also go directly to a dashboard, for example, or straight to the download link or straight to more instructions on your page. So we don't have to have the thank you page as it is. So this could go to a dashboard. So for this, I'm just going to remove enable and then just keep update. And then if you want to customize this page, we can go in here, edit with the builder. We changed the permalink, so that's why this page cannot be found. So let's go back in and edit this step. All right, so over here you can see we said thank you to. So this is the page that we need to fix. So I'm going to go back over here, save that, hit update. Okay, now let's view the step. And there we go. So now we can enable the visual builder and start building our page. So I'm going to click here on build from scratch. And then I'm just going to add a thank you message. So this is going to be a text module. And let's say this is our thank you message. In fact, you know what? For our thank you message here, why don't we add a blurb? All right, so we're going to come over here to image and icon, and let's choose an icon. Do we have a smiley face? Not sure if we have a smiley face in here, but if not, we can just use a thumbs up or a check mark. So let's go with that. So let's customize our colors. But anyway, before we do that, let's go in and add our text, say thank you. Then this becomes our description text for the instructions. Now over here on the design, we're going to start with our icon here. Go with that. Now the circle is a bit too big, so let's go in and reduce the size a little bit. And then for the title texts, center it, change this to pop-ins. I'm going to make this bold. There we go. Change the color. And then I'm going to do the same here for my text. We're going to center it. This is going to be semi-bold. And let's change this to pop-ins. And that's looking great. Right, so one more time, I'm going to come over here and increase the size. There we go. So that's looking much better. Now, as I mentioned on the thank you page, you can also go in and add maybe a thank you video if you need to. But for this, I'm just going to keep things very, very simple. Save the page. Right. So pretty much we have our funnel now all designed. So I'm going to go back over here to edit step. We are going to remove this template and make it template for page builders, because right now pretty much what was happening is we had the boxed layout that we had. So now we're going to go to back to edit flow. So these are the 3 steps that we have for our sales funnel. Now this, again, as I mentioned before, this is for business consultation, but it can be used for pretty much anything. Now let's test and see if this is working. So I'm going to start off here with this very first step. Okay, so this is our main page. We have our main benefits here. We also have our testimonials. So if I click on buy now, this is now going to take us to our checkout page. Now on this checkout page, we also have this upsell. So I'm going to come over here and you can see the price has gone up as soon as I added that. And if I remove it, it stays there at 97. Now, once you purchase this, it's going to take you to a thank you page, and that'll be the final step of the flow. All right, so pretty much this is how you create a basic funnel in WordPress. So this is the step-by-step process. And as I mentioned, if you buy cart flows using my affiliate link, I will give you access to my full course, which teaches you how to design these funnels from scratch. All right, guys, that's all I have for you in today's video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe and hit the bell notification. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.